Mid-ranges now. So for the mid-ranges, we have both of these, yeah? Let's start with the lower one. The lower, I mean the one that has least energy here. So we would know our acoustical crossover that we cannot change because I don't want to boost this end. We can cut from the left because the left one is the orange one, but from the right we won't be able to cut. So let's start with the right one, this one. EQ. We're gonna have the same target, house curve, not target. Let's do 100. Let's bring the level down. This was crossed, if you remember, we crossed it to 500, the tweeters, and now we need to find the crossover for the high pass acoustical. So we will need to bring this down even more, like this, because we need this area to match. And now let's increase and see what we have. 250. Yeah. 200. Okay, down. So if it's 200, I need it to match down to 100. It doesn't. So I will need to increase it. Let's do 220. There we go. So 220 will have to match down to 110. And here we have 110. Perfect. So this is going to go down with EQ, EQ, EQ. This is 2500. Perfect. Now let's see the other side. What do we have? 220 and 2500. Left one. How does the left one? 220, 2500. Go down. Perfect. See, exactly the same. I don't even need to change the electrical crossovers. Nice. So now what I need to do, I need to find the low pass for this. So I'm gonna go generic, extended. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna put a low pass, less 3K, something like this. And ooh, whoa. Okay, let's bring this down to see a little bit better. Okay, so in regards to the level, I should bring the target a little bit lower because of this area. I really don't want to boost it that much. So I'm gonna bring it down something like this. And this is exactly what I meant, that I will have to cut this area, see, between 110 and 300. I will have to cut this down with EQ. So it's like 6 dB down with EQ. That's why, let me just very quickly close this and show you. Yeah, between 100 and 300 is gonna go down. So if we're gonna go to crossovers, mid-range here, you can see. So this area between 1 and 3, this crossover is gonna go down by 6 dB. This area, that's why I can get away with a lower crossover, 170 instead of 2 or 250, because I will cut that energy anyway, so it's not gonna move. Okay, let's go back to this one. A low pass 3K. Let's increase it 24 dB. Perfect, almost perfect straight away. Okay, I want to see a bit lower. There we go. I want to see into the crossover. So 2.8. Perfect. Yes. 2.8 Butterworth 24. It's on left mid. Left mid. Okay, 24 dB. Butterworth 2800. Cool. Now let's do, so this is again a trick. Instead of remeasuring the response with a crossover, I'm gonna generate measurement from predicted. So basically it's gonna give me this orange line in here RW, and this one the lowest one. So I'm gonna take this response instead of remeasuring, because I am 99.9% sure that if I would remeasure I would get the same. So it's just not wasting any time with that. And we're gonna EQ from 108 all the way up to, I would need to EQ, where's my target? Up to 5k, double that. So 5k is here, but I'm gonna EQ up till 7.1, 714, because why not? Cool, match response to target. Which one is it? Left, okay. Left mid-range. EQ, perfect. Copy. No, it doesn't copy because I left these generic. Audio tech fish, 30. I always forget. You go back and forth. Match response, okay. Cool. EQ filters, tech fisher, copy, paste, perfect, nice. So if we are talking about EQs, yeah, very quickly, I'm just gonna cover this. If you would open this and you would look at individual EQ bands, yeah, and you would look and you would see, for example, what do we see? There's not much boost like this. Plus 6 dB, plus 6 dB. We have two boosts of plus 6 dB in this area. You can see. So if I'm gonna do filters, yeah, those bands are 14 and 15. So they are here. But here at the bottom, you can see there is no EQ that is boosted over the 0 dB line. The only EQ, so the boosted one is below this line. All of these are cuts. All of these below are boosts. So the only boost that we have below 0 line is this one, which is band 19, this one, plus 5 dB. You can see how it removes. So boost, not removes. But it is boosting 19, this one. Yeah, you can see it's boosting this area here, which is already minus 20 dB down in the crossover region. So even if you would boost on this plus 15 dB, it would still be below like any danger zones. And then if we're gonna go to DSP-PC tool, here you can see this is the dB 0 dB line, and all the crossovers you can see here is minus 3 dB gain, G minus 3. Here we have G0. So this is, these 2 points are the closest ones to the 0 dB line. So even if I would take this and boost it, the channel level plus 5 dB, this would be plus 5 dB, this would be plus 3.5 dB, and this would be plus 2 dB only. These 3 regions, and everything else would still be below 0 dB line. So yeah. Okay, left mid-range done. Let's do the right one. I'm gonna remove these filters. Okay, right mid. Undo, undo. EQ. Maximize. Okay, let's find again a low pass for it. Generic, extended. Q filters. Low pass. 3K. Let's start with 3K. Sometimes this window is very big. There we go. 24 dB. It doesn't really matter. We can go, for example, if you're going with 30 dB, see, it matches even perfectly. So I'm just trying to find the best electrical crossover so it would match the acoustical responses as best as possible. Because if I'm going to choose, for example, Linkwitz-Riley, you see Linkwitz-Riley removes energy here where I need it. If I'm going to see toggle it, it does remove a little bit energy here, which I need. So bezel, again, bezel removes energy here as well. You can see, if you pay attention to this region, like at 1.5K, you can see if I'm toggle it up and down, it does drop by like 1 or 1.5 dB, and it's just why it's not needed. So let's do Butterworth. There we go. And now if I'm gonna toggle up and down, you can see the only response changes above here, above 2K. See? And all of this is not being touched because this Butterworth crossover, it removes only like the least energy, if you will. So it's not that great for a high pass where you need to remove that energy, but for a low pass it doesn't really matter. So 2.8 again, same like that last one. Yeah, perfect. If I'm gonna go 30, it's not really needed because it just removes this and I would like to have it. If I'm gonna go 18 and I'm gonna decrease, for example, 2.2, see, this matches, but then this energy is removed and I will need to boost this anyway. So it's just, there's no point. It was, I think, 2.8 and 24. Yes, this matches perfectly. See, no major boosts, no major cuts. And I'm going to do exactly the same. Generate measurement from predicted. At the same time, I'm just going to quickly generate measurement from the target because I will need the target later on. And actually, I need to do the same with the tweeter. Tweeter, EQ, and just, no, double click. Yes. EQ and generate from target. There we go. So it's just the targets appear here, which is very good. Was it right? Which one I was working on? Oh, no, RT. Q. Yes, this one. Target. There we go. EQ right mid. EQ, bam. And I'm going to EQ from 110. Well, 109. Same. All the way up to a little bit higher here. Actually, the same, 714. Okay, let's, oh, no. Let's go up, double check, yes. Audio Tech Fisher, 30. Match response to target. Perfect, yes. Yes. Oh no, it's using a lot of EQ bands. Yep, yes it does. Okay, cool. Left mid, right mid, perfect. EQ, copy, paste. Cool. So just now, very quickly, I am going to remeasure the tweeters and the mid-ranges. Let's save this just to see how they look like. Okay, pink noise. Okay, so on this one, you saw that clear this and this. See that the right tweeter is slightly below the left one. So I'm just gonna explain it to you because usually I'm just, while I'm measuring, I'm adjusting the levels as well to level match both either tweeters, either mid-ranges. So we're gonna go into here and the right high, which is this one. I'm just gonna increase the level by say 1 dB and remeasure it again. So this, yes, so this is gonna, left tweeter is gonna be shown in the RTA here. This is the left tweeter response. Let's measure the right one. Perfect. Almost perfect. So the difference is maybe actually 1 dB was a little bit too much. Let's see. Apply smoothing 1/3. Yeah. Which one is it? I forgot now. This is left tweeter EQ. And this is right tweeter EQ. Okay. Right. Okay, so right tweeter, you can see here, has a little bit more energy than the left one. So I'm going to reduce that. So this is, just going to eyeball it. We're going to do 3.8K minus 1 dB, a Q of 1 on the right tweeter. Right tweeter, let's find an empty Q band. Where is empty? This is empty? Why does it do like that? DCM. EQ band auto sort. So it should be auto sort, but it doesn't. It's fine. Okay, parametric. What did I say? Don't remember. 3.8K? Did I say 3.8? Yeah, 3.8K. A minus 1 with a Q of 1 because we need it very, very wide. Or even half. Right. Yes, let's remeasure again. Currents. Now this, let's remove this. See, perfect. A perfect match between these two. Let's remove the smoothing because I don't like it. Cool, nice. So I need to right tweeter EQ. This I need to remove. And what is this? I don't know what is this. This I need to remove as well. Okay, left tweeter EQ, right tweeter EQ, perfect match. Where's the target tweeter? Perfect match. Nice. Okay, let's remeasure the mid-ranges. I think I didn't apply the crossover. Which one was it? Right mid EQ. Let's check which was it. 2.8 Butterwash 24. I forgot to apply the crossover. 24 to 8. There we go. Wrong driver. Wrong driver. This is this one. There we go. 2.8. 24 Butterworth. Yep. Save. Measure. Okay, how do they match? Let's go back here. Yeah, they match just the level. So now this is left mid EQ, and this is right mid EQ. Cool. Now is the level difference. So now I have a choice either to pull the right mid down or to boost the left mid up. Let's check left mid. Can I boost it up? This one, left mid. Yeah, so exactly as I mentioned, you can see that only this, and this is -3, this is a 0, and this is -2, -1, -1. So if I'm gonna boost like plus 3 dB on this, how much do I need to boost? Left mid, how much do I need to boost? Plus 3? Perfect. So I'm gonna add to data and I'm gonna boost this left mid instead of cutting, because if I'm gonna cut, I will lose the level. And if I'm gonna boost, it's still gonna be fine. However, the levels of the tweeters and both mid-ranges, yes, perfect. See, now I will still need to pull both tweeters down. So if I would have chosen to pull the mid-range down, I would have to pull both tweeters even more down than I have to do now. So now I'll have to pull them down maybe like 1 dB. I don't like this one. What is this? Right mid-range 1.16k. Right mid-range, let's have a look. Right mid 1.16. This one we have 1.1. Okay, Q5 1.14. 1.4, so it's very, very close. So now I can choose 1.14. Yes, so let's pull it a little bit down. So we have -4.6. Let's measure it again, actually. Just to see if, yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. So I'm gonna pull this EQ band a little bit more down. It's Q5, so it is quite a narrow Q. So instead of 4.6, let's do -6. And now let's see how it does. Did I press current? I think I did press current. Okay, unmute these, this. Okay, so first let's check the difference between this. Yes, so you see it did pull down. So yeah, it is a bit smoother. And now let's compare this to the left. Perfect. It's even better than this. So let's do this. This is gonna be right mid EQ. Yeah. And I need to delete this and this. Remove selections. No, remove. And this one. Remove. Left mid EQ, right mid EQ. Perfect. Okay. So why I'm doing this? Okay, so the question is why, it's a bit hot. Shut up. Why after I did the EQ here for the right mid, this one, Why do we have a little peak here? Was it 1.1 here? It could be a reflection that the microphone is not responding the same as we hear. And I didn't check anything by ear now because I want to do kind of almost perfect RTA and then see how it correlates with what I hear. If I will see that in this region, the left side maybe pulls a little bit, then I will go back to this EQ here and I'm gonna put like -4 instead of -6. But now I want the RTA to be as good as possible, and only then we will see. Let's apply smoothing 1/3. Yeah, it matches pretty good, like probably half a dB plus minus. Like this, I'm not too worried about this discrepancy because this is due to smoothing mainly. If you're gonna remove the smoothing, have a look again. This is just, yeah, it's fine. Because there's a lot of reflections here as well because the mids are firing up into the glass. So it's not perfect, but it is what it is. Okay, so now the other thing that I kind of learned is that when the mid ranges are summing, they summing a little bit different at the bottom end compared to the top end. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go to this, and on the right mid-range I will apply 1.2 milliseconds of delay because it will put the center somewhere in the center. Actually, let's have a look. Left. Close this. Yeah. So 1.04 milliseconds gives me like the center of the pink noise in the center of my soundstage. This is not perfect, not accurate, but it's just what I wanna do is I wanna measure the pair. If I would measure the pair of mid ranges with no time alignment, then the response is gonna be winky wonky. Actually, I can show you that as well. Let me measure the pair with the time alignment. And now let me remove the time alignment from the mid and let's measure again. Okay, so look, let me show you this one. Let's remove this and this. There we go. This is a difference. So with no time alignment, there's comb filtering that's starting to happen here. 250. Actually, let's remove this one as well. You can see like 250, then close to 500, maybe something here. It's not summing properly because the time alignment is off. When you put the time alignment kind of correct, not perfect, but correct, you have much better summing at the lower end. So let's remove this one because we don't need it. Yeah, this is our both mid-ranges summed. This is left, this is right, and that is the sum. And now you can see what I want to say, what I mean. That you can see here at 200 we have probably like 5-6 dB summing, which is supposed to happen. You should have ideally plus 6 dB. However, here it's only like maybe 2 or 3 dB. That's why the acoustical crossovers change. So if we had on, where is it? Left mid, there we go. If we're gonna go to EQ, we had this at, if you remember, 220 and 2500, yeah? If I'm gonna take the sum, and we're going to try to do the same. It was 220 and 2500. Let's bring it down to this and a bit higher. There we go. So now you know what I mean. Like here we have a much more energy because at the lower frequencies drivers are summing better than they are summing at the higher frequencies. So what can we do now? Don't look at this jaggedness. It doesn't really matter because this is just interactions between the drivers, reflections, and all that kind of stuff. This will be verified later on by ear. So now we can do two things. Either we are going to the DSP and we are increasing this. Instead of 170, we can put 200 for both drivers, then it will remove this. Or I can lower the acoustical crossover down to 200 for both mid-ranges. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. So when I'm going to choose the low pass for the mid bass, instead of 200, instead of 220, I'm going to use 200. So it will be a proper sum between the pair of mid-ranges to the pair of mid-basses. Because now, if I'm going to leave 220 and I'm going to EQ the mid-basses to this 220 curve, we will have more energy here. And when we're going to have the sum, when we're going to have the sum, I'm trying to show you with a finger on the screen. When we're going to have the sum, here we will have more energy in the summed response because these mid-ranges play a little bit lower as a sum. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, sorry. So we will be choosing a 200 hertz crossover for the mid bass. Like, where is it? This one. Yeah, makes sense? I hope so. So 200 for the mid bass.